The flexi band is going to be useful because it's going to give you a little bit of feedback. And if you don't have a flexi band, you can totally still do what we're going to do. Step your feet out a little bit wider and start shifting your weight between your feet. So over to one side, over to the other. And as you're shifting your weight towards one side, you can allow your body to turn towards that side. You can let your knees get soft and use some momentum here to allow your arms to swing around. And they might even just kind of gently whack you as they swing around your body. And notice this doesn't have to be a really controlled thing. In fact, you are using momentum, so you can just allow your arms to move as they move. Your body is propelling them around. You can move as quickly or as slowly as you like. So maybe you're feeling tired and moving quickly doesn't seem like the thing to do. So you stay slow, or maybe you're feeling tired and moving a little more quickly might wake you up a little bit. You decide. As you're doing this, make sure you're not holding your breath, but finding a way to breathe so that your breath can be a bit of a focal point, a bit of an anchor. And then slow it down. And if you have a flexi band, grab your flexi band. If you don't have one, that's okay. You're just going to be moving in slow motion if you don't have a stretchy band. The band will kind of require that you do so. Take it in the ends of it in each of your hands, step one foot onto it, and then step the other foot onto it so that we're going to be doing those windmills that we just did again. And so if you don't have a stretchy band, imagine that you do, and it's restricting your movement so that you have to move slowly and with complete control. So start by shifting your weight from one side to the other, allowing your body to turn. And then that thing that naturally happens with your arms when you're whipping yourself around, make that happen with control, moving as slowly as you can. So you may notice, especially if you're using a band, there is necessarily tension that happens in your body. And it's a useful tension because you're using it to control things, to make movements happen. So maybe try moving to each side once more. And then you can stop, let that go. If you have a band, you can set it aside. And then step a little bit to one side of your mat. Imagine you have a little fence that's next to you, and you're going to step one foot over the fence. Maybe there's some berries over there you want to pick. So lifting your inner leg up, and you can use momentum here. Step over the fence with one leg. And then, maybe you forgot the bucket you want to put your berries in. So you got to step back over. Step back over once you get the bucket and realize, I forgot sunscreen. Come back, grab your sunscreen. Step over again. What did you forget this time? A hat. It's very sunny. Try again. And then one more time. And maybe this time you just decided it's time for lunch. So come back. And step to the other side. Do the same thing on this side. Stepping over. I forgot something. Come back. And you're using momentum here. Stepping that leg over. This is a dynamic stretch, a dynamic warm-up. Make sure you do it a few times. And once that feels complete, try it on the first side, only this time, maybe you imagine that that is a barbed wire fence. So out of necessity, you need to move very slowly and with control. So it's the same movement, and you might want to place a hand at a wall for balance for this, but really don't touch that barbed wire fence. And then come back. Try that a few times. Each time, like using caution. Maybe you've got on brand new pants and you don't want to catch them on the barbed wire. Maybe, barbed wire hurts. So notice how this feels different. So it might be a lot harder. You might notice tension building up in your body, and that's useful tension. So once you've done it on one side a bunch of times, feel free to try it on the other side. And notice if it's different on this side. Very often that is the case. Go as slowly as you can. And you might notice what muscles are working. You might notice your whole body becoming pretty tense here. Maybe notice if there's anywhere that can relax a little bit, even if it's just your jaw or around your eyes. And then you can stop that when you're ready. Maybe take a moment to find mountain pose. If you want to turn your palms forward, you can. Feet can be together or apart. But just notice, like, where did that create tension in your body? Is there anywhere it created tension that it's not that useful? And could you give it permission to just kind of like, okay, relax. My jaw was doing all the work there. So as you're ready, you can seaweed things out a little bit. See if you can release a little more tension. And then bring all of your weight into your right leg and bend that right leg just a little bit. So it's got a small bend in it. And all of your weight is centered right over your foot. You can place your hand at a wall for balance here. And that might be a really useful thing to do. Bring your left toes forward so that you're just tapping very gently. So you're straightening your knee and just gently tapping the floor in front of you. And imagine there's a button there and there's a button to the right. So tap the button in front and then keeping your weight where it is, tap the button to the side and keep doing that. Imagine maybe if you tap the button, it's going to play your favorite song. But if you put weight on it, it'll start playing Old MacDonald over and over again or something else that's going to be a really irritating earworm for you. So all that weight is staying directly over your right foot. And there's a gentle bend in that leg. And the only thing that's really moving, unless maybe your arms need to move for balance, but the only thing that's really moving is that left leg that's tapping the button very gently. And notice you're probably creating lots of tension in your core, which is going to be helpful in that standing leg. You might consider, if this feels easy, if this feels like, yeah, this is really easy, you might consider imagining what it would be like if the button started moving and you had to like find the button and gently tap it. Maybe it moves behind you or over across. Take just another moment, really focusing on keeping all your weight in that standing leg, which will create lots of tension, useful tension. And then when you're ready, let that go. If you want to shake anything out, shake something out. Maybe that standing leg with like a little shake. We're going to try that on the other side. So your left leg is going to be where all of your weight is. That's going to be your anchor. And your right toes, your right big toe, maybe it's going to be the button presser. And it might be a really small movement. Maybe that button is like right in front of you, and then maybe it just moves out a little to the side. But again, if you feel like adding more of a challenge, if this feels like, it's pretty easy stuff, maybe you try to find that button somewhere else. And maybe it moves over in front of you to the other side. Maybe it moves behind you to the other side. And here would be a great time to notice if you're holding your breath. A lot of times when we create tension, we can kind of notice it reflected in our breath. And maybe using ujjayi, that audible breath, where your throat is a little constricted so you can hear your breath, might be helpful. So take your time finishing that up. And when you're ready, come back to mountain. You might shake things out. Just notice where you felt all of that. Notice where the tension is in your body now. Check in with places where you know tension tends to accumulate and is not helpful. So like maybe around your eyes, your jaw, neck and shoulders, or anywhere else. Try taking a really deep inhale through your nose and then trying horse lips. So fluttering your lips really deep in. And then do that a couple of times. And then when you're ready, come into what will be kind of like a mini uh, warrior two. So turn your right toes to face the short edge of your mat, and just a really, really mini one. So your left toes can face kind of that long edge of your mat. And then bring all of your weight into your right leg so that all of your weight is balanced over that leg. And again, a hand at the wall or on a chair or something might be really useful. Have just your back toes touching the floor, no weight in them. And see if you can create the kind of tension in your body here that holds everything still. So your leg will remain aligned, that left leg will remain aligned with your body the way it is. And just your front knee is going to bend and straighten. So straightening it will lift your toes up off the floor. Bending it will bring them back down. Try that a few times. Keeping all of your weight right there in that bending and straightening knee, right over that foot. And then let that go. And notice that that probably created a lot of tension. If you'd like to shake that leg out, go ahead. And take your time coming to the other side. So little tiny mini warrior two. Your left knee is bent. Those toes are facing the short edge of your mat. Slowly bring all of your weight into that leg. Maybe have a hand. I can't reach the wall. Maybe you have a hand at the wall. Just to make sure that you're keeping all of your weight right there in that leg. Just your back toes are going to be touching the ground, just that big toe probably. And then keeping your body steady, just straighten and bend through your left leg. See if you can do this no momentum, just really using the strength of your leg. And again, it might require lots and lots of tension. Moving as slowly as you can. And can you breathe as you're doing this? Creating all that tension. But where is there ease? Can you find any anywhere? And then release that. Maybe try a little seaweeding, a little shaking. We're going to go through a little flow. So seaweed and shake your way to the front of your mat.